Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new entitled people content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled, Neighbor Demands I Remove My Fence So She Can Freely Trespass and Swim in My Pool. TLDR. In this story, Op purchases a new home with her husband and decides to put a security, automatic gate around the house. The next door neighbors question Op and state that the gate is illegal. They also say that this should be a neighborhood where kids can ride around on their bikes through people's backyards. In reality, the neighbors are just upset because they cannot use their neighbor's pool or driveway anymore. Op decides to fight back and get proof from the city that their gate is legal and that they cannot do anything about it. So, I am not originally from the USA. I was born and raised in a foreign country. I had the opportunity to study abroad in college, and that is where I met my husband, fell in love, and moved to the USA. I am mentioning this because there are a lot of cultural differences and societal differences between my home country and the USA. One of them being the houses. Where I am from, most of the houses and neighborhoods are gated. And I just mean a simple gate or fence. What I mean by that is, each house will have their own security gate, fence that goes all the way around their house. And we do not park our cars in the street, but instead in our driveway, which are also inside the security gate. On top of this, most neighborhoods are gated. That means there is a big, hefty gate with an attendant or passcode, etc. About half of these neighborhoods have security guards that stand outside these gates. It was very safe and secure no matter what kind of neighborhood you were in. Your house is always protected. When my husband visited with me the first time, he was surprised that more houses and neighborhoods in America are not like this. So, when we got married, we decided that we wanted a house with a gate that is similar, and if we could not find one, we would add one. Well, that is exactly what we did. We found a beautiful home with a huge backyard. We found the right people to install an automatic gate. When we moved in and did this, the next door neighbors were on vacation, so we did not have the chance to meet them right away. Everyone else had been lovely to us, so we were excited about finding such a friendly and inviting neighborhood. Flash forward about a week or so, and the next door neighbors have returned from their vacation. I am pretty outgoing myself, so I was excited when they saw us coming home one Sunday and decided to introduce themselves. It was a nice Sunday afternoon, so I decided to invite them out onto our patio for some iced tea so we could formally introduce and get to know each other. We were going to be next door neighbors. It was going wonderful at first. They were polite and seemed genuinely interested in talking to and getting to know my husband and me. However, that quickly changed when they mentioned the automatic gate. The wife suddenly popped and asked, "What's up with the changes you have made to the house? Why do you have scary-looking gate now?" I would like to add that I personally do not think it is a scary-looking gate. It was a nice, wide automatic gate. An upgrade to the white picket fence dream, if you will, ha. Also, we are a corner house, so only one side, the side that is up against their house, is taller than the other, but not by much. I explained to them that where I am from, we enjoy our privacy and security. Not that we moved into bad neighborhood, but it was just nice to be able to feel secure and have the actual privacy you deserved in your own home, you know? I noticed her tone had changed a little bit, and I even added that we had land surveyors out and everything when we had the gate installed, and nothing is overlapping property lines or on their property. I did want to make sure we did everything right, as this was the first home my husband and I were buying together. And after stating that, they both seemed really pissed off. The husband even said that we were going to ruin the neighborhood because this was supposed to be a neighborhood where all the kids could play outside and ride their bikes throughout everyone's front yards and backyards. My husband politely apologized and stated that we just wanted to enjoy the house, and we would not be okay with the neighborhood kids playing in our yards even if we did not have the gate. By now, they were absolutely heated. The wife had gotten up from her seat and I thought that she was going to escort herself off of our property. She started saying how the gate also blocked our driveway and she had an agreement with the previous owners that she could park her car there when there was no parking on the street. They did not have a driveway. The husband was also nice enough to add that sometimes they were allowed to swim in the pool. We had a huge pool in our backyard, and we had decided to add a jacuzzi. She then basically implied that she was going to file a report with the city because she was sure we were breaking some laws. At this point, we knew there was no trying to turn around the conversation, so we asked them to leave. We decided that we were going to take action before they had the opportunity to file a report. Not that they would find anything illegal, but I wanted to get my point across. It was petty of me, but the next day my husband and I went out to the animal shelter to adopt a huge German Shepherd. We had talked about getting a dog a little after we were actually settled into our new home, but well, this seemed like the perfect opportunity. We even got a "Beware of Dog" sign and hung in front of the gate. We also got some plants and hung them from the edge of the roof on the taller side of the gate, so that any small area in between this space they could see, was now blocked. And finally, I had gone down to the city center and asked them to not just review the plans for the gate and make sure that they were okay, but to put it in writing that all of the plans and installation of the gate was legal and that we were not breaking any laws because everything was within accordance. The next day, I stuck the letter in the neighbor's mailbox. They have not talked to us since. But that means that they are also no bothering us. Win-win? The next story is titled, "Am I the asshole for not giving my mom a key to my girlfriend and I's place?" I, 25 male, have been dating my girlfriend Lacey, 24 female, for 6 years. We met when she was a freshman because she became friends with one of my close friends, and I was enamored with her immediately after seeing her. After a couple of years of saving, we decided we wanted to take the next step and buy a house together. Nothing big, just like an apartment or a townhouse. With the help of Lacey's father, we purchased a townhouse a month ago. Now for some background, that led to my decision not to give my mom a key. My mother has never liked Lacey. There was and is always a complaint. Her dyed hair, her revealing clothes, her clothing style, her facial piercings, her tattoos, etc. The most recent complaint is that Lacey only works a few part-time hours while I work full-time. Lacey is a PhD neuroscience student, but even if she wasn't a student, it's not her business how our dynamic works. If she can't act amicably towards my other half, who has been nothing but kind to her, then I don't want her having access because I know she will intrude. On to the issue. 2 weeks ago, we held a housewarming party for our parents after we were mostly settled in. After dinner, while we were all drinking coffee in the living room, my mom asked me when she would be getting an emergency key. I told her we gave it to our friends because they are closest. That's a lie, we gave one to Lacey's parents. She got upset, saying emergency keys are for family only and she needs one. I told her she didn't need one, and if something happened, my friends had access. I could tell it upset her, but she stopped. The next day I got a call from her, and when I answered, she was wailing, saying she knew Lacey was up to this. I told her it was both of our decisions to give the key to our friends and that Lacey isn't an evil villain conspiring against her. She then switched to anger, saying I can't cover for her all the time, to which I hung up. Ever since I have been getting guilt-trippy texts from my mother and my father about me breaking her heart because I'm shutting her out. Is it really that bad she does not have a key? Edit, update. Well, I took the advice of the comments. I texted my mom something along the lines of, "No, you will not be getting a key, and that is my decision alone based on your treatment of Lacey through our entire relationship. I do not want to make her feel unwelcome in a home that she also owns. You and I both know that you will go snooping and show up uninvited, and I will not tolerate that. You need to let go of this competition between you and Lacey because I will always choose Lacey. But much longer. I'm getting chewed out, but the alternative is my girlfriend and I being walked all over so." Update 2. I tried to talk to my dad about it since my mom is just on an angry rampage. No luck. My mother has escalated to calling, texting Lacey to insult her, so I'm just blocking them both for now. I sent my mom a final text letting her know I was disappointed that she couldn't consider anyone else's feelings but hers, and if I decided to reach out again it would be on my time, and that I wouldn't hesitate to re-block if she spoke to Lacey like that again. Update. To say that this month has been a shit show is an understatement. I really didn't think I would need to update beyond the ones on my original post, but here we are. As per my original post, I and my partner have been struggling with my mom crossing boundaries and more specifically badgering me for a key to our new home. I got a message on Facebook from my uncle around 2-ish weeks ago that my mother was in tears, couldn't sleep, and was a mess. He said that she has tried to contact me, but since I blocked her on everything it wasn't possible. She wanted to invite us over for an apology dinner. Later, when Lacey returned home from work, I showed her the texts and told her that it is up to her whether we go or not, as she is the one who was wronged by my mom. Lacey told me since it was my mother she wanted to give her another chance, but if my mom did something like this ever again she was done. I unblocked my mom, and we talked and set up a dinner at her place. When we first arrived, everything was fine. My mom was being respectful and halfway through dinner gave a sincere apology to Lacey. Lacey responded that she appreciated and accepted her apology. My mom's face went sour and she asked, "Are you also not going to apologize to me?" Lacey said that she had nothing to apologize for. For some reason, this triggered a massive meltdown on my mom's end. She started screaming incoherently that this is what she was talking about, and she was tired of seeing my son be with a she-devil. Lacey got up, thanked them for the meal, and walked out. I quickly followed behind her as my mom stormed after us shouting insults with my dad trying to stop her, attracting the attention of her other neighbors who now think she's probably crazy. So as the comments originally suggested, we are back at square one with them blocked most likely indefinitely. I would love to leave my dad unblocked, but I know he'd let my mom contact me. Thank you to everyone who commented. I truly wish I could have provided a more happy update. Edit. Some of your comments about my dad have made me a lot more worried about what he's possibly dealing with at home. I'm going to talk to Lacey to see if she's comfortable with me reaching out for my dad alone at his work email, since I know it's less likely for my mom to have access to that. Small update. Lacey does want to move forward and attempt to just contact my dad. As some of you in the comments may have read, Lacey loved my dad a lot. They were close and blocking him has really upset her. I'm just really hoping he does the right thing. The next story is titled, "What do you mean I can't drive my car?" I've been a mechanic my entire working life so far, and this is one of my favorite experiences. I had a customer come in complaining about a vibration. I put the vehicle on the lift and checked the front end. I found a nearly broken tie rod and a faulty rack and pinion. So basically, the passenger side front wheel was not fully secured to the steering system and would soon break and cause the wheel to be completely disconnected from the steering. I told the customer how much the repair would be and told her it was unsafe to drive. She asked me to put it back together so she could leave. I told her that I could not do that because if it broke after I let her leave, I could be held liable. She started yelling and screaming about calling the cops and suing me, and how her cousin's brother knows a guy who's related to the chief of police and I'll be arrested. She calls the police and they come out. I show the officers the vehicle and they understood the safety concern. They told me to just put the car down and let her leave. I did, and even made her sign a statement declining crucial safety repairs. She left with the most, "haha, I told you so," smug grin on her face. Until she left the property, got pulled over and her car impounded. They also gave her a ticket for reckless driving. I was so happy seeing her car get towed. Edit for clarification. The cops told her it was against the law to drive it. The state laws back then allowed me to do exactly what I did. I offered to discount the price of the repair and take payments. She still refused. And I don't care how well versed you think you are in the law. You don't know when or where this took place. And no, I won't tell you what state I am in because I have already had several people message me saying they are going to try and find my shop just to harass and blast me. The last story is titled, "Dinner Date with a Guest." This story took place some years ago when I was 19. I lost my mom when I was 6, and despite the young age my memories of that time are very vivid. I remember the lack of kindness that seemed to be everywhere. It was also the first time that I saw my father cry. This guest reminded me of that time, and I wanted to make sure he knew he wasn't alone. I was raised in the hospitality industry. My dad buys old hotels, motels and fixes them up, then sells them again. During the fix-up process he keeps them operating like normal hotels. As his oldest child, it was usually my responsibility to help keep things running. So I thought I'd share some of my favorite tales. This one takes place after I decided to stretch my wings and work for a hotel not owned by my family. I was alternating between second and third shift at this hotel. Now at the time I had my hair dyed a ridiculously bright red, like fire truck red, and while my boss had been hesitant to let me keep it, I never got anything from compliments from guests. This particular hotel was located near a hospital and offered a discount and shuttle service for people with relatives at the hospital. During one of my second shifts this older man comes to check in. He's staying for a week with the hospital rate and looks very distressed. His English isn't great, but he does his best. Several times during the process he mentions how much he likes my hair. He also got very talkative about why he was staying there, since it was a slow night. I indulged him. Turns out that his wife had been flown to our hospital from Puerto Rico. After he checked in, he went to the hospital to check on his wife and stayed there for a while. I was still on shift when he returned, and he asked me where he could get some food. I gave him a list of restaurants that delivered to us. He asked which was my favorite and what I liked to eat there, then wandered off to make his call, then lingered around the lobby waiting for the delivery. When the delivery showed up, he brought his food to the desk and set a box in front of me. He told me that he hadn't eaten dinner alone in 50 years and he wasn't ready to start. He had ordered the food that I told him was my favorite and was hoping that I'd be able to eat with him. Since my relief had showed up already, I clocked out early and sat in the breakfast room with the guest to eat our food. Every night after that was the same thing. He'd come home from the hospital and ask me to order food for him, so he'd get the front desk discount and I'd order my own food or warm up whatever I brought. His wife wasn't doing good and he ended up having to stay with us for almost 2 months. We had dinner together every night. I lived 2 blocks away and would come in on my days off. The guy was really nice and really lonely. His wife wasn't doing good and none of his kids were able to get to the US. He called me Red even after I'd changed my hair and would tell me all about his life in Puerto Rico and his kids. After a lifetime of shitty guests, it was a really great experience. His wife ended up passing away in the hospital and he made sure to wait for me to come into work to leave and thanked me for the dinners and let me know that I'd made a hard time a little bit better. Thank you for listening.